Everyone, my name is Donnie Lowy from WholesaleUSADresses.com. Hope you're doing well today. Today I'd like to give you an interesting strategy for selling kids' clothing on eBay, and that is to set up collections of kids' clothing and sell them on eBay as that collection. Now, when you look at a lot of the auctions on eBay, you're going to see that they're for individual pieces of clothing. So someone might have an auction for a dress for girls size 4. Someone might have a pair of jeans by Rockaware size 8 for boys. But the idea is that those are all auctions for an individual item. And while that's fine, it's not enough, in my opinion, for it to really stand out when a customer looks at the auction listing. But if you have a collection of clothing, then you're doing two things. First of all, it's going to stand out more in customers' minds because it's a collection versus an individual piece of clothing. And unless an individual piece of clothing is so exciting or so valuable or so attractive, there's going to be so many other listings that are just going to kind of blend in. But if you see a listing for a collection of clothing, it's going to stand out. It's something different. And another reason why doing an auction for a collection of clothing is such a good strategy is because you're helping the parents. You're giving them a great deal of convenience. Instead of a parent having to go to a department store or to Marshall's or to TJ Maxx or go online and start shopping and finding a lot of individual pieces of clothing and then ordering all that clothing or spending an hour with their shopping cart and in a department store or at Marshall's, you're giving them an opportunity to get an entire collection of clothing in one shot. And also, if you give them a really good price and they're saving as compared to the price of each individual item, then you could save them a lot of money, right? If you save a parent $5 on a $50 piece of clothing, that's great. You're saving them $5. But if you're saving them $5 on 20 pieces of clothing in one shot, you're saving them $100. You're giving them another incentive, another good reason to buy that collection of clothing. When you do set up your listing on eBay for a collection of clothing, you want the collection to have a theme. You want it to have like a centralized category, meaning the clothing could all be for 5-year-olds. The clothing could be all boys' clothing, which is sports clothing, which is for kids between the ages of 10 to 12. Remember, kids are growing pretty fast, so you don't have to just have clothing in one size. You could have a range. But the more specific you are, the more it might be suitable for a parent, but at the same time, the more specific you are, you're eliminating some of the people who could potentially buy that clothing. If the clothing is only size 4 and the parent wants to have clothing which for size 4 and size 5, then you're going to be missing out on that parent by only having clothing size 4. So you do want to kind of broaden your horizons and have a little more of a wider age range for the clothing. And you might also want to have some diversity in the clothing, but keep in mind the collection should have a central theme because that's what it's going to stand out in parents. And let's say parents need to have a range of formal clothing for their kids, and they have kids in the ages of 5, 6, and 7. So you can have a collection of formal clothing, which is for the ages 5, 6, and 7. And you can do in your description, you can let parents know they have a wide variety of clothing, and if you in fact can do this, let them know that you're willing to make a collection for them for the different ages, or other categories that they might need. Okay, the next time you're in New York, you're welcome to visit my warehouse. My website is WholesaleUSADresses.com. Thank you and have a great day.